Donald Trump found guilty. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, and welcome back to Fish and Chips. I'm Randy, your host, and this is Brian, my co-host.
What up?
And today we want to talk about something that just happened today in the courts with Donald J. Trump. But before we get into it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that type of stuff. Call your cousins, uncles, and let them know that we are on. Now, today, Brian, is kind of monumental. I think everybody, the world is finding out that Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, has been found guilty of 34 charges.
Oh, so this is breaking news.
We have a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems.
I mean, 34 charges.
So this just happened probably like a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, so now he's...
So my boy's finally convicted, huh?
Yeah, he's an ex-con.
Oh, man.
And,
Convict.
This is just, it's still shocking and overwhelming because Donald Trump has always seemed to weather the storm or talk his way out of something and still got his base and support around, the country and this type thing. And to find the government, to find him guilty, not of one or two or three, but 34 counts of falsifying business records.
My nigga.
Whoa.
Is just amazing. I thought that maybe he might be found guilty, maybe a couple of things, but
Yeah.
all 34
So
by the
34
government. So this is the government. This is not President Biden doing something. This is the government against Donald Trump.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
With a jury of peers that set for 7 weeks just to hear this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a
So it's kind of shocking.
it's a wild trial. I mean,
Yeah.
again, you're talking about ex-president
Yeah.
that used to be president, and now my boy is a convict.
Yeah. And I didn't think it would happen, because again, he seemed to be been able to get out of everything that he was in. But let me go ahead and read what they're saying in the news. It says a New York jury unanimously found Donald Trump guilty of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, a stunning conclusion to the historic trial of the former president. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg had brought charges against Trump stemming from his $130,000 payment during the 2016 presidential campaign to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. So that payment
To a porn star.
Yeah, that payment, Daniels testified, was intended to buy her silence, and prosecutors argued that Trump sought to hide it from the voters. So during the trial, Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, testified that he paid Daniels on the behalf of Trump and that he worked out a reimbursement arrangement with the Trump organization. With no legal retainer agreement in place, Cohen said he submitted monthly $35,000 invoices for expenses totaling $420,000, which included the $130,000 payment to Daniels. And let's get into the 34 counts. The count one was falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count two, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count three, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count four, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count five, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count six, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. Count seven, falsifying business records in the first degree. Guilty. And this goes on and on and on up to 34 counts against Donald Trump. And the sentencing phase is set for July 11th. And again, I'm shocked. I didn't think it would actually happen because he's been able to maneuver against everything that's been brought against him. He's appeared tough, and he has a base that is very, very strong behind him against everything that he's been accused of. And they've even come against the government, saying that the government is against Trump. So I don't see Donald Trump coming out of this saying, oh, it's Biden anymore. I think now he's going to appeal to his base by simply saying, it's the government. Hey, y'all, look, the government is against me. It's against you. It'll do it to you. So I think this is going to be the way he's going to campaign to try to win the nomination. Now, the second thing I wonder about, can he actually continue to run as a felon? So I'm very interested to see what happened July 11th. You know, if he's found guilty, or will he have to serve time in a prison?
So
will
on
he,
July 11th.
On July 11th.
He will be sentenced, and
he will be sentenced.
They will tell him exactly what his punishment is.
Exactly. But I wonder, being a former president that also has a Secret Service with him, well, if he's sent to jail, would it be a special type of jail where the Secret Service have to work around
I believe
him?
so. I believe it's going to be definitely a different type of jail.
Or could he be sent to home confinement for the
Like
next
house
10
arrest?
or 15 years? And still run for president? Can he?
Wait, what?
Can he run for the Oval Office and become president and be under house arrest at his own house? You know, I said it's just interesting to me to see exactly what's going to happen. I know this is shocking, but
then. I mean, I don't know this answer, but the question would be like, you know, well, if he's guilty of these crimes, I mean, like you said, he's a convicted felon, right? I mean, wouldn't that disqualify you from running for president?
You would think. I mean, I want to hear what the law has to say on this, because I know if an individual is convicted of a felon, it's hard for them to get particular jobs. You know, certain things they cannot do. So now you're saying, hey, we could have a convicted felon as a president. I don't know how that would work.
I mean, that wouldn't be fair, like you said, because what about the other opportunities that other people had, but because they became felons?
Felons can't even vote. There's something that can vote. So it carries a lot of things, and it's, you know, I don't think America's never been to this point before, because this is the first time
this is historic right now.
A former president has been convicted, you know, of a felony. So it's just shocking, and you know, I don't know what to say. I got to watch to see how this plays out.
We have to see how it plays out.
What Donald Trump will begin to say after this. But I have a funny feeling he's going to just start blaming the government. Hey, y'all, the government is bad. The government is not for us. This type thing. But you know, and it was interesting that in the trial, that the defense never brought up the payments that were made to Stormy Daniels. They kind of overlooked it. They didn't really get into it. And I don't know, that could have been the thing that broke the camel's back or whatever. But it is.
But again, too, I mean, they say, you know, the jurors were very educated, you know, jurors. They say that some were lawyers, you know, and some, you know, were with high profession. So, I mean, hey, these 12 jurors, I mean, they knew what was going on. So they're like, it ain't dumb.
And again, too, it's shocking. Like all through this last 7 weeks, you know, former President Trump kept getting all these gag orders and constantly kept talking, you know. So, I mean,
So do you think this would, like, I don't know, maybe he'll learn from his lesson? Or do you think he'll continue doing what he's doing?
You know, I don't know, because again, you're going to hear a lot of people, especially Republicans, they're saying, hey, he's been done wrong. The government is crooked. It's a Biden government. They're against the DOJ. You know what I mean? This type thing. So
it's a witch hunt.
I don't know. We're living in a time where what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right.
And it's confusing a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, okay, well, I don't know who to believe. Do I believe the government, or do I believe on, you know, Donald Trump? And like you said, like Donald Trump is like saying, oh, in a sense, you know, if they doing this to me, they could do this to you too. You know, so I'm gonna fight for you and all this stuff. And people would actually believe that.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not understanding that they're actually fighting for themselves. It's all about themselves. And you know, another politician, just like Donald Trump, is Marjorie Taylor Greene, that acts exactly just like him, you know. So
is he like building a community of little
I think
little trumpets.
He has already built a community because they don't care.
Yeah.
He can kill somebody and they're going to still support him. So it does not matter. You know, if you ask me,
it's a true fan.
Yeah, but it looks more like a cultic, like an occult.
Well.
You know, you're doing everything this person says, even if it's wrong or right, it doesn't matter. You know, we're still going to make America great again. Again, I've seen so much over the years that Donald Trump has been allowed to do, and where nobody else could do it. You know what I mean? I mean, me being a black person doing something like he done, I would have been in jail a long time ago.
Well.
So it's just, you know, to watch the powerful privilege have their day in court and found guilty. You know, it makes me feel like, okay, well, you know what? You know, justice can be served, even if you're rich and even if you're powerful, but that you are not above the law. And whether you're Republican or Democrat, you are not above the law.
That means anybody.
You know, so that's anybody. But I think, you know, Donald Trump has this occultic following, and that, you know, people are going to follow him regardless. So I'm just going to really be watching over this next couple of weeks to see what's going to happen in our country.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, we're coming into elections this year.
Exactly.
You know, I just wonder what the whole narrative is going to be at this point, you know what I'm saying, in the next couple of months, and how people are going to respond.
Yeah, because normally if something like this happens, you can't even run for public office. You know, normally the Republicans would have said, hey, Donald Trump, you got to sit back now. You know what? You've been convicted. We got to find someone else. But trust me, they won't do that. They're not going to do that, because it's like he is the new MAGA party.
I mean, let me tell you this. I mean, at this point, I mean, kind of like as far as the time frame, like, can there be somebody else to replace him for the Republican Party? I mean, because, you know, election is just in a couple of months from now.
But again, the Republican primary is like 7 days prior to or after Donald Trump being sentenced. So I'm just saying there's time to do anything. You know, if Donald Trump going to be willing to set back, you know, which I don't think he will. He's going to use everything he got. He's going to say, hey, the government is corrupt. Look what they're doing to me, like we talked about it earlier. Hey, they're doing me wrong. So that means that they're going to do you wrong. Let's stop this. If I become president, I'm going to break up this thing. I'm going to break up the government. We're going to find people that are for the people, for the felons, for the blacks, for the whites, for the Latinos, for everybody.
For los inmigrantes.
You know, and you know, even now Trump is talking about cryptocurrencies. Hey, we're for cryptocurrency. So he's going to say whatever he want to say, because look, we're talking about a guy
now he's trying to gain
that even got the Bible and telling people, you know, the Bible.
Psalms 13.
It's just, you know, I've never seen nothing like this.
This is wild,
but again,
like you said, you experienced a lot of elections in your time.
Never.
And this is like the first, of course, you know, this is breaking news. This is historic, what CNN would say. This is wild.
Exactly. And even to see Republicans, even when they know what the conservatives, when they even know that he's wrong, it's like they're all still trying to fight for a space to be with him in his new cabinet. So it doesn't matter what he does wrong. That doesn't matter. Yeah, it's Donald Trump, you know, and I've never seen nothing like this before, you know, in my lifetime, you know, and, you know, but I believe that justice has been served. You know, whether he's been found guilty or innocent, we still got to follow the code of law or the rule of law, and we don't start coming against the government, you know, or talking against the government, you know. So I don't know. This is just shocking. This is riveting, guys. What do you think? You know, what do you think? You know, is it right what happened? Do you feel that Donald Trump has been done wrong? You know, and he should be acquitted? Do you think maybe prosecutor Bragg was wrong, you know, to do this? Was Cohen just a liar who was his former attorney? Was he just lying? Was Was the lady Stormy Daniels just lying when she said she got paid for having sex with him? Is everybody lying? What is truth and what is a lie? Does truth and lying even matter anymore? Because we're in a different age now where people love believing lies. You know, so
everything nowadays is a lie.
So what is truth, guys? So let us know what you think about this election, what's going on. Do you feel that it was right what happened to Donald Trump? Do you feel like the government is just we got a bad government? You know, just let us know what you feel about this, or if you feel like justice has been served.
You know, or should, you know, like I said, Trump be a candidate now since he's a convicted felon?
Yeah, should he even be allowed to continue?
Yeah.
What do you think? And I know what I think. You know, I know what I think, but we want to know what you think. So make sure y'all comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm Randy, and this is my boy Brian again, and this is Fish and Chip.